So listen, this viral video of this tense moment between a DoorDasher and a Texas customer posted on TikTok is bringing up this big debate over tipping culture in the U.S. It has a lot of people feeling a lot of ways. I want you to watch if you haven't seen it. Look.
I just want to say it's a nice house for a $5 tip.
You're welcome.
Ooh, so sounds like a little bit of an expletive there from the Dasher, kind of an attitude. $5 tip on a $20 pizza. So that's, a 25% tip. Then in a series of posts, the DoorDash customer who got the exchange on her Ring camera, doorbell camera or whatever, said, how much should I be tipping on a $20 pie? She says she herself has worked in the service industry for more than a decade and tips, in her words, very well. So what happened to the DoorDasher, the driver? A spokesperson for the company confirmed that a worker has been removed from the platform, basically fired, in connection with this, saying that respectfully asking for a tip is acceptable, but abusing or harassing someone is never acceptable. Vicky Nguyen joins us now with more on this. And this has struck such a chord, I think, for people, because it's about tipping, but it's also about the gig economy here, right? And the idea of, like, was this just a one-off thing, maybe an attitude apple in the bunch, right? Or is this about workers in the gig economy struggling with low pay from these companies and trying to figure it out, piece it together with tips? Talk us through some of this and where this DoorDash driver is now.
Hallie, you're absolutely right in terms of there being at least two sides to this tipping coin. Let's start on the consumer side, right? There's a bit of tipping fatigue happening right now. You've been there, I've been there. Someone hands you a donut and they turn the little screen around and suddenly it's, do you want to tip 15, 20, 25%? There are all these people in the line behind you. You feel almost like you got to tip something. It's a tough time out there. But on the other side, take a look at what DoorDashers actually make. There's really an argument that if you pay people a living wage, they're not going to be so aggro. DoorDashers make anywhere between $2 and $10 per delivery based on time and distance. Now, I don't know exactly where in Texas this woman lives, but is there an argument to be made? Maybe you have a super long drive or you live way out somewhere in the boonies and maybe $5 on a $20 pizza isn't generous enough. But the bottom line is it's never an excuse for dropping the F-bomb and behaving in that manner. And that is why DoorDash ended its relationship with that driver.
It's this whole question, though, of when should you press the tip for the donut person at the counter, right? Like, in other words, like, what do people tip? I mean, I see it. I think you see it and you read about it in, like, the restaurant world, too, right? Like, it used to be kind of 18% was like a good tip, 18 to 20%. Now it's like 25 to 30%. All of it, like, adds to the bill, but also restaurant workers deserve it. Delivery workers, the argument goes, deserve it, right? Like, who sets the standard? It's just us.
The etiquette experts would say always tip as much as you can, and particularly for services that require actual labor, right? So the good news is most Americans are aware of that. Take a look at the list of places that Americans say they almost always tip. First, it starts with actual restaurant servers. 77% of Americans say they tip their servers. Hairdressers and barbers, come on, if you're not going to tip your hairdresser, I mean, that person's working on your moneymaker. That's important. 65% of people tip there. Bartenders, 65%. Delivery drivers, 61%. And then you go down, baristas, I was surprised that it was only down right around 38%. Here's the thing. Creditcards.com just did a survey, Hallie, and they are finding that Americans are less generous than we were during the pandemic and even less generous than we were back in 2019. One big factor could be inflation. It really is hitting everyone. So here's the thing. Carry small bills. Cash is almost always more appreciated than just adding that amount onto your credit card. So even if you can only tip $1 or $2, it's very appreciated. The other thing is be discreet about it. Don't be a big showboater. And even if you can't tip as generously as you would like to, always be respectful. I know some of these things sound like common sense, but just being kind can go a long way, too.
It's a motto for life. Vicky Nguyen, thank you very much. It's good to see you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.